You are now listening to Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio. My name is John Sargent.
And my name is Christian McGann.
Welcome back if you're joining us again, and welcome for the first time if this is your first foray into the Mighty Champions podcast. We're going to talk to you about action figures from all over the place. Retro stuff, new stuff, vintage stuff. So we're going to break down the news. We're going to talk to you about our weekly purchases. We're going to go into what we're calling blank check collection, which I'm pretty stoked to talk about.
Me too.
Which is basically going to be like, what would you buy if you won the lottery? Or if you burned your lip on a McDonald's cup or something.
Yeah, exactly.
If you ended up super rich. You guys can follow the podcast at Mighty Champions on Instagram, and that is a great place to share your weekly purchases with us. I want to see your collections, your displays. Definitely send them over there, and I will post them, and we can have a little community going here centered around the action figures. And hit the subscribe button, obviously, if you want to catch next week's episode and go back and what is this, 8, 9?
I think this is 8.
8. You can go back and listen to the other 7 historical legendary episodes of the podcast. And also leave us a review. We would love it if you guys could just hit the review button since you got the app open. That would be much appreciated. It really helps us out. It helps the podcast grow. And if the podcast grows, then we can do things such as videos, toy hunts, all that kind of stuff. So it's up to you. All right. That's enough of that. What have you been up to this week?
That's a good question. Not a lot of, man. I mean, we obviously we've talked about it before. John and I work together. John, I'm going to throw you under the bus. John owns a gym, and I am a trainer at the gym. And so we constantly talk about this stuff in detail all the time, every day. And we've had a pretty cool week leading up to that. I feel like I didn't really do that much, I didn't really do that much. So I'm just rambling at this point.
All right.
I thought I was like, oh, maybe I did do something. Then I'm thinking back and I'm like, actually, it was pretty boring. So,
all right, loser.
Okay. Well, how about this? Let's talk about your traverse.
Traverse? What is a traverse?
Is this thing on? Man, I'm sweating. No, man. So, I mean, you obviously had the weekend of a lifetime.
Yeah.
So, other than that, what have you been up to?
Dude, I had a monster week. So, before we get to my birthday road trip across the state of Texas and back, let's see. Earlier this week, I had graduation at kickboxing. I started kickboxing 3 weeks ago, and I had graduation. And this was interesting because I didn't know that there was going to be graduation,
right.
And I didn't know what graduation is. And I'm still not fully clear on it, but yeah, I showed up to kickboxing and they said, all right, it's graduation. And I fully thought it was for some other girl that I hadn't seen yet. I thought she was graduating and we were all helping her. And then we did this gauntlet where it was just the hardest workout of my life. And then at the end of it, they handed me a certificate and they were like, you graduated. And I was like, oh, this was all for me. And then they handed everybody a certificate and I was like, I
still don't know what's going on here.
I still don't know.
And for reference, if anybody's seen the episode of Seinfeld where Kramer is in a karate dojo giving Elaine advice on how to run J. Peterman catalog, Jerry finds out he's fighting little kids. That's an example of what John is going through currently.
But by the way, I grabbed a picture at Misfit Toys of an Ass Man license plate.
Wow.
Yeah, I meant to send that to you.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so I had that going on this week. Also saw the new Naked Gun movie.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes.
I saw the new Naked Gun movie and I loved it. Run out and see Naked Gun.
I've told you this before, I have never seen a comedy movie in theaters before.
Which is a travesty.
It is, but
like, I'm older than you, but I'm not like 100 years older
Yeah.
than you. And I feel like it was just commonplace. It was every single Friday for what feels like most of my life.
right.
And you being like 10 years younger than me, you've never done it before.
I mean, the last comedy movie, like true comedy movie that I saw in theaters was Shrek.
Yeah.
And it was like, as a 9-year-old.
I don't think kid movies count, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
But like, again, there's like movies like Superbad or like those types of comedies, which is just, I've told you this before, just not really my jam.
Yeah.
Whereas like the, Naked Gun, Hot Shots,
Yeah.
those types of movies are literally my jam. So to be able to see one in theaters, fresh eyes,
Yeah.
like that was a legitimate dream come true.
Yeah.
And dude, I was dying, man.
It's good. And
slapping.
without this turning into a movie review podcast, just know that it is a legitimate comedy, and it is neither afraid to be offensive nor going out of its way to try to make offensive funny.
Yeah.
It is just doing its thing.
It was so spot on to like the original Naked Gun style comedy, where it was just like, okay, here's the scene, what happens in the scene, where are the jokes going to be, and then let's do them.
Yeah.
And there were like interesting tidbits. Like there were some jokes that didn't land in the theater, but not because they weren't funny, it just wasn't the right audience.
Right.
Like, not really a spoiler thing, but there's a scene where he references like a bunch of Buffy episodes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't
there
watch.
was 2 people in my theater crying.
Exactly.
About that. Yeah.
So I was
Which
in
I
here.
think is meant to be what was funny.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
that it's not that funny.
Well, I think that if you're a Buffy fan, like I know if my sister watches that, she's going to be knee slapping because she's a massive Buffy fan. So like stuff like that, where I was like, all right, I appreciate the fact that they went that far, dude. And like, yeah, man, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love the idea of just like, I mean, it was legitimately like the entire theater just like on their knees, like crying.
My Letterbox review of it, follow me on Letterbox at Sergeant John 13, was basically that the new Naked Gun could be measured in jokes per minute, which is the highest compliment in comparison to all comedies from the last like 15 years. It's just that the original ones can be measured in jokes per second.
Yeah.
Like, so it was really, really, really funny, but I don't think it was as close to as funny as the original ones.
Yeah.
This is not a spoiler, and this last thing I'm really going to say about it. There's a part where Liam Neeson hands Pamela Anderson a box of tissues, and when she pulled out a regular tissue,
I was waiting.
I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What is that? Right? Like,
well, because I was like, okay, I'm thinking that she's gonna pull in, and it's gonna be like the clown pulling like the colorful
yeah, no one's
thing.
gonna acknowledge it.
And then it wasn't. But then like they did follow the joke when she throws it away, and it makes like the loud splash.
Yeah,
so spoiler.
Yeah, so so that was for my birthday. My girlfriend took me to go see that, and then the following day was the great birthday toy hunt across Texas. So we got in the car at like, I don't know, 8:00, went and got coffee and donuts.
Awesome.
Okay. So I'm going to give you the whole story.
Please do.
We went to Shipley's Donuts, which I don't know if they have that everywhere, but it's a Texas thing.
Yeah.
I don't frequent it. I don't even eat donuts frequently, but it was my birthday and she was jamming sugar down my throat because it was my birthday all day long.
Oh, it was her fault.
I honestly...
He fought her. He was like, no, please don't take me to go get donuts.
Honestly, I could have done without it, but okay. I wasn't mad about it.
It just slowed you down.
I wasn't mad about it either.
Okay.
So we go. She had asked me, where do you want to go get breakfast? I was like, whatever's a drive-through. I just want to hit the road.
Yeah.
I just want to get coffee and some kind of like something to eat that's like fun because it's my birthday and I want to get on the road. So we go to Shipley's because they have a drive-through.
Cool.
We pull up into the drive-through. I go, where is the like menu? There's nothing. And then we get up to the window and there's like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that's like iced, glazed. Like there's like barely anything written on it. There's no chocolate strawberry. There's no flavors announced on this thing at all. And I'm like, what the? Okay. She goes, what do you want? I go, just give me a coffee and 2 glazed. And she's like, okay. The window opens. The kid is, what age are you allowed to work? He's 1 day older than that. And he's the nicest boy. But she goes 2 glazed and then 2 iced cake donuts. And he goes, chocolate? And she heard, like, there's only chocolate. And she goes, there's only chocolate? And he goes, what? And then she looks at me and she goes, what do you want? And I was like, whatever. And so now the 3 of us are as uncommunicated as you can be.
This sounds like a Naked Gun skit.
Basically it was. We went round and round like this for like 5 minutes. Yeah. I broke. I just started cracking up because we could not get a coffee and donuts order done until he went and got donuts and showed them to her.
Oh my god.
And was like this, and she looks at me. I was like, whatever. Can we please go? And then we finally figured out. Finally get the correct number of the correct things. And then he goes, well, since you got 4, you get a 5th one free. What do you want? I lost it. And then he thinks I'm laughing at him.
Dang.
I'm just laughing at the situation because, like, how could something so simple be so complex? And it's the first thing in the trip.
Yeah.
So anyways, we managed to get it figured out. And the trip to Houston wasn't that bad.
Okay. Did you cut through Bastrop?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
My old stomping grounds for anybody out there.
If you guys have ever been through this area, driving in Houston is nothing short of a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's about the worst thing you could do inside of a car.
Right.
Like, and that includes like a demolition derby and like Monster Jam. But we get like 20 minutes outside of Houston, and so we were going to go to Texas Time Warp, and then we were going to go to Super Happy Toys, and then we were going to go to Misfit Toys because that's like closest to furthest from us. And then she goes, well, is it open? And I was like, I don't know. Like, if it's not, then we'll just wait. She's like, well, check. And I look, and we were going to land with like an hour before Texas Time Warp opened.
Gotcha.
And I was like, okay, well, that doesn't work. So then I go, okay, let's go reverse. We'll go furthest to closest. So we start at Misfit Toys. You've been there.
I've been there, yeah. I think they've, which you're probably going to say, but they expanded, I think.
Since you've been there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
So I just saw what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you walk in, and immediately I was like, I heard angels singing.
Yeah.
And a spotlight shone down on me. And I was like, okay, I turned to Danielle. I said, we're going to be here for a long time. She was like, I know. So I go to the right, and I just, like, usually when I walk into one of these places, in an effort to not become overwhelmed and go into like just excited little boy hopped up on sugar mode, I just like hug the perimeter and just try to look at what's right in front of me.
You have to do that. You have to do that. I get so overwhelmed. I don't even have asthma, but I need an inhaler.
If I start looking at the whole store, I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna start gathering stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go into like an epileptic fit.
Yeah.
So I go to the right, and I'm hugging like the perimeter, and there's like the cases over there, and the cases have like some vintage Star Wars and some stuff that isn't like crazy catching my attention. But there's also like aisles right there. So I'm kind of trying to do like an up and down the aisles thing. And I go up the very first aisle, and it's like Star Trek. And I was like, all right, cool, easing in. Go down the second aisle, it's Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
And it's DC superheroes.
Oh my god.
And it's Mattel DC Multiverse and Universe Classics. But I stop at the Batman Animated Series. I haven't been inside of this store for 5 minutes. It's been under 5 minutes. They have, I go to my phone, I go to Google Drive, I pull up my BTAS checklist. They have 5 things I need that are as minty as it gets. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. We're the very first store in the first 5 minutes. they're appropriately priced.
Dude, again, shout out to Misfit Toys.
Yeah.
I bought very, very amazing action figures from there for literally like $10 and $15 where I'm like, do you know what you have right now?
Yeah.
They're just so amazingly priced.
Everything that I picked up that was of interest was the exact price that it should be. Nothing was like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
And nothing was, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Everything was like, yeah, that's what that's supposed to cost. Which you can't really ask for better than that. So, but I'm looking at Man-Bat, Robin. It's just called Robin. It's the one with the yellow glider with it. I'm looking at Two-Face. I'm looking at the Bat Cycle.
Oh.
And then there's like 4 different Batman variations. They're all super mint. And then I'm trying to figure out, because they're like, some of them are like $30 and Two-Face is like $50. And we have 2 more stores to go to and the rest of this store to go through. So I don't have like a set budget, but I also am conscious of like, I don't want to just go insane in the first 5 minutes. So I start like going back and forth through those. I'm like, I'm considering just getting the Two-Face, like for $50 because I really like the Two-Face. I'm considering getting Robin and Man-Bat, and then I grab the Man-Bat and I like move, and I realize that the bubble is yellow.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, dang. And I go to like put it back, and I'm considering the Bat Cycle, and I see another Man-Bat, and I'm like, cool. And I grab that one. The card's even mintier, but the bubble is also yellow. I'm like, dang. But it's narrowing down my search. So I'm carrying around with me the Bat Cycle and Robin. And then I do the rest of the store. And then just like, the store is so sick. There's a NECA Predator section. And I'm like, I'm like hands in my hair. Like, this is too good to be true that they just have whole areas of all of the stuff that I collect. This can't be the case. Fortunately, they didn't have any NECA Predators that I need.
Thank God.
Because it honestly would have given me a selection headache at this point that I might still be like in the so like that, but like, oh man, just such a cool store with so much cool stuff. Come around to like the Ninja Turtle section. They didn't have any of the Ninja Turtle stuff I need, but like fun to look at still. Tons of actual Toy Biz vintage X-Men, like tons, like really, really like minty too. Usually you'll see those in most of these stores, but they're usually kind of crap looking.
Yeah.
Like the card. They had a wrestling section, but the wrestling section was vintage, but not super vintage. It was like 2006, 7, 8 kind of stuff. And then a little bit of like 14, 15, 16 kind of stuff. And then their loose wall, I don't know what it looked like when you were there before they expanded. The loose wall was like the most organized loosies I think I've ever seen, because they weren't in bags.
They're in the shells.
They're in like the rectangular like shell,
Yeah.
so you can see everything really nicely. The only thing was the wall was just action figures in general.
Yeah, they don't have it like, there's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, so that was a little bit where I was like, I don't really even feel like going through this, honestly. Like, I kind of glanced through it, like I browsed it without thinking I was going to buy something. And then we kind of come around and go through like the, you know, NECA Ultimates and all that kind of stuff. And we're on one half of the store, and I just glance over at how big the other half is. And I turn to Danielle and I go, this is the best toy store I've ever been in. And she was like, really? And I'm like, yeah, like for sure.
Yeah.
Like no doubt in my mind. So then I cross the halfway point, the point of no return, the point of safe return, and I get to the other side, and I realize the other side is all stuff I don't collect. It's all Transformers, like vintage and new. It's all Godzilla. It's all Power Rangers. Like there's a good Power Rangers section. But in the middle of the room, there is a long table, just like a folding table, like a wrestling table. And it is just covered in carded 90s action figures, stacked 6, 7, 8 high, and all the way down the table. There, if I had to guess, 300 action figures just sitting out in the open, mint in box, and it's like Spawn, X-Men, whatever, just 90s and like early 2000s figures just sitting out on a table. That table has more heat than any store where we live. Just the table alone, not to mention anything that's on display. I was like, it didn't say clearance or anything like that on it. I was like, what is this? Is this just a flex?
Yeah.
Is it just a flex of like, look what we've got?
Yeah.
Like I was just blown away.
That is so awesome.
So what I ended up buying 2 things there. No, I bought 1 thing there. So out of all that stuff in there, I ended up buying 1 thing, which was, like I said, because I was really trying to be conscious that I had 2 more stores to go to. So we leave there. We go the like 10 minutes to Super Happy Toys, which is, I've never been. I'm from California, right, where everything's new, like relatively new. Every building is relatively new in comparison to Texas.
Yeah. And
if it's old, they just knock it down and put up a new one. There's no reverence for history really in California. So this is the first toy store I've ever been to that was like an Old West building, like a creaky door.
You're talking Texas Time Warp? Or
no, this is Super Happy.
Oh, Super Happy. Okay, so this is one I have never been to.
And now if you're gonna do this trip, this is like directly in between the other 2.
Okay.
Like it's just might as well,
cool.
right? So I go to open the door of Super Happy, and the door, like, I don't know, like I looked at the depressor thing on the handle, and it's already down, and I like jiggled it and nothing happened. And I kind of like looked around. I was like, how do you get in here? And then like I tried it again, and I actually was able to open it, and the guy had gotten up and come to the door to like help me, and then I opened it, and then he just turned around and walked away, without saying a word. And I was like, okay. I go inside, and it's not huge, but there's a lot of stuff. And it's,
what's the name of this one?
Super Happy Toys.
Oh, Super Happy Incredible Toys.
Super Happy Incredible Toys, yeah.
Gotcha.
But it's really well organized. It's just kind of dark in there because it's in a building from the 1820s.
You know what? I've been here before.
You have?
I did go there the first time I went to the toy store in Houston.
It smells like weed.
Okay.
Like it super smells like weed when I walk in. And I spot the kind of Marvel area. So I walk over to look at that. And there's a guy on the phone with, I presume, like a coworker or a boss type, and he's just hollering cuss words. And I'm like, I don't feel Super Happy Incredible right now in here, but they do have some heat.
Yeah.
So I'm going through the Marvel stuff, and I actually found a modern Marvel Legend on card that I need, and really good price.
Yeah. So
I grab it. They had the same vintage X-Men kind of stuff. They had the stuff you would expect to see, like current DC McFarlane kind of stuff. I would say that it was similar to Monkey See, Monkey Do's actual action figure section if it was the whole store.
Gotcha.
They had a wrestling section. I'm going through it. They have brand new stuff that's like on shelf right now. The Sting Luminaries figure that I have not even seen in a store yet, $15. It retails at $25.
Okay.
So I was like, that's phenomenal.
Okay.
I just don't need it. I love Sting, and I considered it. And the guy sees me looking at the wrestling section. He goes, first thing anybody has said to me. I'm the only person in here, by the way.
Okay.
Danielle was taking a call. She's in the car. I'm the only person in there. I just hear, hey, you want to see something cool? It's not for sale. And I go, what? And he's like, you want to see something cool? I go, yeah. What is it? He goes in the back. He gets a Mattel shipper box, and it's got the new John Cena. I think it's an Ultimate. It's in the old school Elite style box. That's like this homage to John Cena because he's retiring. It's like it's going to be a very, very expensive figure. I've not seen one in the wild. I asked him, is this street dated? Like, are you supposed to have this? And he just didn't answer that question. He's like, I got it for my nephew, and it has like every belt he ever won in it, and it looks like he's running in the package. It's sick. I don't like John Cena, but I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I started thinking, where's this guy getting this stuff? Like, how does he have stuff that's not street dated? How does he have brand new stuff for less than retail? And I was like, I'm not gonna ask questions.
Wow.
But yeah, really cool like vintage section. They actually had a good amount of Toy Biz Marvel Legends.
Oh wow.
And then like a huge GI Joe section, like new classified and like a little bit of retro, but like a huge GI Joe section. So that place was cool. I ended up getting 2 figures there, and then we went to Texas Time Warp, and this was a wild experience.
Okay.
First of all, you never told me that it is in a storage unit. It's in like a storage building district of storage places.
I'm pretty sure I told you it's like an industrial. You got to cross through like a gated iron fence type thing. To get in there.
If you told me, I forgot because we were like, "What's up with this?"
Yeah,
it's in a wrought iron gate, like electronic gate thing, and everything on either side of it is a storage unit.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay. And we walk in, and I just like look to the left and look to the right, and I'm like, well, I don't think we're gonna be here for that long.
Yeah.
And there's a guy right in the center of the room with a table out, and he's like pricing stuff.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, what's up? He wasn't at that moment. He wasn't crazy interested in being like friendly. He ended up being very friendly later on.
Yeah. But exactly how it was for us.
So we go start just kind of sniffing around, and like to the right there's like a very 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 vintage room with like 70s and 80s like RoboCop and Mr. T and like the $6 Million Man and like that kind of stuff, little Motu, whatever. And then on the left hand side there's a room that's all video games. And then we come back out from there, and he goes, have you guys been here before? And I go, no. And he goes, okay, well, there's like this and this. And then he goes, and then the rest is upstairs. And I go, upstairs? He goes, yeah. And I go, oh, okay. And then we go up the stairs, which feel like there were not permits. It's real crickety.
Yeah.
Go upstairs, and you're just in like a hallway. I don't even know what this would have been before it was a toy store, like the office of a storage place, or it was a storage place and they just added this second story without permits, or I don't know. But it's Disneyland. It is straight Disneyland. Wait till you guys see the videos and like pictures I'm putting on Instagram. Go to like the left, and it's like Hot Wheels, like a whole. It's a room. Like what I'm describing are rooms like you would see in a house. Like you open a door, but there's not a door, but like you go through a doorway, and it's a full room, and there's nothing but Hot Wheels inside of that room. Then go to the next one, and it's wrestling, and I was like, whoa! I was blown away.
It's like wrestling plus. Last time I saw it, it was like kind of like other miscellaneous like TV show type stuff.
There was some other stuff in there, but like. I think at least 2 walls, and then the middle were wrestling, and there's like that same kind of early 2000s kind of stuff, and then a good amount of modern, like a pretty good amount of like AEW, WWE, like modern kind of stuff, but old modern, which was crazy to see, like defining moments, Randy Savage just in a plastic clamshell just on the wall, like collecting dust, like stuff that people who are out there in the world are dying to get their hands on and can't find it, and it's just in this room of this upstairs storage unit. Nothing that I personally needed, but stuff that I was really having a good time looking at and like just browsing through. And in like I said, like pegs on the wall inside of like what seems like a residential like bedroom is just wild. And then I went into the next room, and this dropped my socks, which is the superhero room, which I'm sure is just your jam.
I literally I was on my knees when I walked in there the first time.
It is, picture whatever superhero figures you like, they're in there, in this room. It was like 90s, Toy Biz X-Men and Toy Biz Marvel. And like I saw the 90s Incredible Hulk show figures, and half a wall dedicated to Marvel Legends Toy Biz, and the other half dedicated to current Marvel Legends, a whole section dedicated to McFarlane's. Like this, you could spend a whole day and you wouldn't make it through all of these superhero figures in this room.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was contending with two other shoppers who were kind of trying to do the same thing I was doing at the same time I was trying to do it. So a lot of times I was having to leave a section and then come back to it when they were done, rather than just push them aside, which is what people like to do to me. So yeah. But that room was nuts. Shockingly, nothing in there I needed. Like nothing in there that I actually like wanted.
Wow.
But I had a blast just like sifting through it. And then the last room upstairs, well, there's a Star Wars room. You guys might have noticed we don't really talk about Star Wars that much on this show. And I'll be totally honest with you, Star Wars has killed my interest in Star Wars. I grew up a huge Star Wars fan, and I'm just currently not. So if you're longing for Star Wars talk, I'm sorry.
Go elsewhere.
I walked into that room and I told my girlfriend, I was like, it's doing nothing for me.
Yeah, I didn't even go in there.
Yeah, it's anti-Viagra.
Yeah, you go in there, you're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
the next one.
Other people might travel across the country to go into that room.
Right.
And so if you are a Star Wars person, this would be astonishing to you.
Yeah.
It was anti-Viagra for me. And then the last room is comic books, but it's also miscellaneous. I almost grabbed for you. They had two of them. I don't even really know how to describe what it is. It's like an additional cup holder for your car that, like, I guess hangs off.
Let me guess. Had Godzilla on
it. Yeah, it was a Godzilla 98 like extra cup holder.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of those before, and trust me, I'm tempted to get them.
I was like, I don't even know what you do with them.
Yeah, I didn't really understand it. That's why I didn't get it. I was like, is this like it's like a cup holder, but it's I guess, yeah, for your car.
Yeah, and it's like Godzilla is wrapped around your cup.
That's cool.
So and then I actually in that room I found some old school McFarlane sports figures.
Oh, cool.
And I was going through those, and I found a Rams one for my friend that's like a diehard Rams fan. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this for him because his birthday's coming up pretty soon, and it was $10.
Nice.
So we go downstairs, I have that in my hand, and I asked the dude, I was like, hey, can you show me some of these video games? Like, because I can't see the price. And he goes, yeah, and he helps a couple other people, and then he gets up, and he unlocks the case for me, and I'm like, I want to see the Captain America and the Avengers on Genesis, and then the Streets of Rage 2 on Genesis. So he unlocks it, and he just lets me go into it, and the Streets of Rage complete inbox was like $65. And the Captain America was $70. And I go, oof. And he goes, whoa, we price these with like da-da-da-da, like he like checks them online.
Yeah.
And I go, no, they're appropriately priced. I was just hoping that they weren't.
Yeah.
And he starts busting up laughing. I was like, no, they're the price that they should be.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay that.
Right.
So I've got the sports figure in my hand, and I just kind of stand around the counter area for a while, and just no one ever came by. And I just told Dan, I was like, I don't really care. I'm like I'm really hungry now. Like I don't really want to. So I just went upstairs and put it back. Wow. So at Texas Time Warp, at the store that I could have spent the most amount of time browsing was the least amount of stuff that I wanted.
Yeah.
Which was weird. And then it occurred to me, had I left the house an hour later and done this trip in reverse order, then I would have spent way more money at Misfit Toys. But because the other two stores were happening after it, I left Batman Animated Series stuff on the pegs. Yeah. So I was a little bit bummed about that.
Yeah.
But don't you worry. I had my eBay fired up when I got home.
That's hilarious. You're like, well, only hit a fraction of the budget, so got to make sure to go through it.
So then we went and got lunch, and we just came home. So what I ended up walking away with was a Sid Justice Hasbro, WWF Hasbro, that is like 9.5 out of 10 mint, which I got at Super Happy Incredible Toys. So super stoked on that. And then also at that store, I got the Hobgoblin Marvel Legends retro card. Not a crazy exciting purchase, but
Yeah.
these figures jump up in price once they're gone, and it's like 50-ish, like eBay, and I got it for 20.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I was like, and the reason I don't yet have it is because it's not crazy exciting to me.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like if you're gonna do like the Spider-Man,
Yeah, I need all the
man,
villains.
You need them. Yeah.
And honestly, I was watching the show before I ever read Spider-Man, and I thought for a good portion of being a child that the Green Goblin was a knockoff of the Hobgoblin,
Yeah.
because Hobgoblin appears in the show first. So there's a portion of my brain that actually puts Hobgoblin above Green Goblin, but I know that that's inaccurate. But yeah, I got the figure. It's a little bit utilitarian just because I need all the villains, but
Yeah.
for $20, when I know
Easy.
that it goes for more than that now, that's less than it retailed for originally.
Wow.
And then what I did get at Misfits was the Batman animated series Bat Cycle, which, to be honest with you, isn't even on my list of the figures that I had originally wrote down that I wanted, but how could I not?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Like, it's
oh my God.
it's probably also about a 9 or 9.5.
Yeah.
Like, it's so clean. All the edges are really clean. Like, the bubble is perfectly clear.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It has the
No
Toys R
dents
Us
or anything
sticker,
like
no
that.
dents. Like, it's not sun faded. It's just too freaking nice.
Yeah.
Like, too cool. So those were the purchases that I got on my birthday trip. But for my birthday week, I treated myself. From eBay, I have got the 10-inch Justice League Superman. We talked about this a lot in the last couple of episodes.
Yeah.
You had gotten this at a toy fair, and I saw it and just decided I'm going nuts on this.
Yeah.
So, but I got it like really, really clean
Yeah.
in box, and then I also got the Batman, which is from Justice League Unlimited, so it's in the orange box, but it's the exact same Batman as the other one. Also, just the figure itself is, since it's in box, is just as clean as it gets. I got through the mail this week the 1 of 3,000 Kazuchika Okada from AEW Shop. Super stoked to crack this bad boy open and get him into my Detolf, which is a ranking system. So I have to figure out where he ranks for me and who's going to get booted out of the Detolf. So there's a little more to it than just simply unboxing it, which is the fun part of wrestling figures for me. And then I also got, you guys might have seen on social media, there was a minor miracle that occurred. It wasn't a pre-order, it was just an order. I ordered something from Walmart, and then they shipped it to me, and now I have it.
Which is
and it wasn't damaged. They didn't cancel it.
Yeah.
And it's the Chase. And the Chase was the one that I wanted the most, and that's the Monday Night Wars Great Muta. The amount of time that I know that I saved from going into 1,000 Walmarts, this is my favorite thing that I've acquired this week because like, first of all, I just love the figure. It looks incredible. And secondly, I know that I would have put $70 of gas and hours of my life into getting that. So really happy that miracle occurred. And that is my birthday week and my birthday trip and my birthday purchases. Oh, and I got Aquaman, the 10-inch Aquaman this morning online.
Oh, sick.
On eBay.
Man, all right.
Yeah.
How much did that run to you?
The Aquaman?
Yeah.
$13.
Oh, God.
Dude, I've been killing it on these 10-inch Justice League. So I just, if it's a specific, like when I was after Superman specifically, just search it, then go through all at once and watch like 8 or 10 of them all at once. And then over the next 2 days, see every offer that comes back and then just grab the cheapest offer. So I did that with Aquaman and I didn't get any offers. So I made an offer for $13 and they accepted it. And I was like, oh, awesome.
Yeah, that's a good thing about eBay, man. People are just like, sure.
And I think I'm the only one hunting these.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a huge market.
Yeah.
I'm in love with them. I think they are the coolest thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting me itchy on those too, so I'm gonna have to start pretty soon.
And dude, they're not expensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, man, it'll scratch an itch without tearing into the wallet.
The shipping is a little bit much because they're big.
Yeah,
they're not heavy.
But if you can get it for $13, and if it's like $9 shipping, it still comes out to it's
still not bad at all. So yeah, I've been using it to scratch the itch. Just without breaking the bank. When I knew I had this trip coming up and I was trying to save some funds for that, I actually was more conservative than I usually am, and it kind of backfired on me this time. But that's what eBay's for.
That's what eBay's for. On to the next journey. But yeah, for those of you wondering, why did I not tag along with John, which was a very hard decision to make, but my duty and obligation was to my baseball team, the South Austin Parakeets, which, by the way, Nick, and I know you're listening to this, shout out Nick. He's our team captain. He actually has he's a toy collector as well. Sent me a video of his collection, which you got to tag us on Instagram so everybody can see it. But yeah, he's a really, really big collector of like Motu and a lot of video game type stuff, a lot of Marvel carded stuff. I could be wrong. I gotta look through there again. But yeah, I had a game that day. And so I told myself, I was like, all right, I don't get to go toy shopping, but I'm going to try to hit a home run. So,
The tone in your voice says that you like tore your groin instead.
Oh, man. So I decide, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go. We're going to get to the game. It's a night game. What time did you guys get back, by the way?
6 o'clock.
Okay. So it would have been because I thought about it. I was like, well, if we got back with just enough time to the game starts at 7, usually get there at like 6 o'clock to like warm up and everything. So anyway, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to hit a homer. That way I'm going to come back and be like, at least I hit a homer.
This one's for John.
So I get there and we're warming up. One of the teams that was just playing on the field finished up. One of the guys on the team, came up to me and he was like, talking to me about the game. He's like, dude, you got to get one. You got to get one today. He's always hyping me up about hitting homers. And I'm like, okay, man, of course, nothing else in my destiny it's just it is the only thing I care about, Yeah. And so he tells me, it's my birthday. Do it for me. And I was like, I'm going to do my best. And so,
well, who's this guy?
I know, right? But I'm like, hey, he's hyping me up. So I'm like, okay, for sure. I go up to my first AB. I'm like, okay, I'm seeing these pitches pretty good. I take one big old crack and then it goes way up in the air and then it's caught by the shortstop. And I was like, perfect way to start the game. Second AB, I go up. He comes over there and then he's like giving me like velo slaps, just like hitting me in the back. Like, you got to do this. You got to do this. And I'm like, actually kind of fired me up. I'm like, I know this is sort of a bit, but I'm getting fired up from it. And so I go out there, I get ready to go. The pitcher, he's not throwing super fast. It's kind of like all over the place. So I'm just kind of dialing it in. I think I foul off one and then I foul off another one because I tried to take like a donkey hack and I just like swung over the top and fouled it over. So then I think he thought he was like, oh, I got this guy. But I was like, nah, I just took my eyes off the ball. And then he throws me another one. I hit it and I catch it on the end of the bat, but it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes. And then it hooks foul and then hits the top of the fence and still goes out. And then everybody's yelling out there, this guy needs to hit the weight room. And, so I'm like, oh, crap. In my brain, though, I'm like, oh, I actually got this. Like, I literally hit it off the edge of my bat, and it was a foul homer. And then I'm, like, getting fired up. He throws me another ball, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And I think it was like a 3-1 count, and I wish I would have known that.
Was this information not available to you?
Dude, I was like smashing my bat on the plate, like screaming because I was like, let's do this. I got the whole crowd engaged. I'm talking to them, whatever. We're getting fired up. And had I known it was a freaking 3-1 count, I would have not swung at the next pitch because then I swing at the next pitch and then I ground out. And I'm like, good God. And then, yeah, I ended up going 1 for 4, got a good little single on the next AB. But it was just like, why can't I have my time in the sun?
So you missed the Great Texas Toy Hunt for 1 for 4.
I know, man. I know. So you know, at the end of the day, it's just that's baseball. So
yeah,
there you go.
You had to do what you had to do.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the birthday toy hunt. Let's get into the news.
Well, LexCorp's going down. Whether it's me or Superman, who does it?
If it's Superman, that makes it news, and I'll be happy to print it.
All right, it's a brief news week because last week was San Diego Comic-Con. So every toy company on God's green earth went just bazooka last week. But one thing that kind of trickled in was we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but WWE had announced that they purchased the naming rights or the license to LJN, which evidently Chalkline owned. And then they purchased it, so they can now make figures that are called LJN figures.
Interesting.
Which are like the big rubber guys that we have discussed. And so they announced some of those figures. So Wave 1 is going to be John Cena, Dusty Rhodes, and Logan Paul. So that is old news in the sense that was announced at Comic-Con, but what they held back was that there is also going to be a Hulk Hogan, which I think is already sold out, but it's an exact replica of the first Hogan LJN.
Oh, nice.
Which is another like Toy Hall of Fame toy. Like,
gotcha.
This item was more common in houses when I was a kid than like a telephone. Like, so for them to put out a Hogan that's called an LJN is a pretty big deal, especially like after he's passed. So that I think that's pretty cool.
Cool.
Like that's huge, and it sold out instantaneously. And then the other thing that is like indirectly toy related is, did you see the reveal of the suit from Spider-Man?
Did.
What do you think?
I thought it was the intro. It's such a short. It's like 5 seconds long, and
the one with Tom Holland in it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they showed a clip where it's like shadows, and then like it's kind of like a light is revealing it. I guess the way that Instagram Reels play now is they don't really give you an idea of like that it started over.
Oh yeah. So you sat there looking at it for 15 minutes.
I was like, is this some kind of April Fool's joke right now? And then I realized that's all they showed. I think it looks pretty good. Looks like Spider-Man. It kind of looks like the Tobey Maguire suit in a way.
It looks ripped out of the comic book pages. It looks like a little bit of a calmer version of what you saw at the very end of No Way Home.
I liked that suit, and I'm hoping they go with that same sort of shine on the blue.
When the light hits it.
Yeah.
And the only reason I bring that up is because it's going to have figures, right?
Yeah,
and it
that's
almost kind of already does, because the one from the end of No Way Home, there is a figure of that.
Yeah.
I have it.
Okay.
And I think that figure kind of doubles as whatever shelf you want to put it in. Like that's a comic one.
Yeah,
that's
it can
like,
match with that.
It can match with pretty much anything. So just the idea that they're just doing a straight up regular Spider-Man look for the new Spider-Man was pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm sure that the figures will be awesome. They also said Hulk is in that movie and Punisher is in that movie. So there's going to be obviously figures about that.
Yeah.
Any other toy news from you, or should we do some blank check collection?
Yeah, I mean, not really too much, man. Like I said, I think that a lot of these we already saw. I do think that there are some going up on pre-order. One thing that I wanted to bring up, I think in the last episode, was the Juggernaut. Is it a 2-pack or is it a single that came out for the video game?
I think it's a 2-pack.
No, I think it's by himself because the other 2-pack is with Colossus. I think this one's by itself, but it's like $70 just for him. And I get that because he's bigger than the other one. He's like really enormous. He's massive. And somebody made a good point where he's like $70, and then like the Marvel Select Juggernaut, which is probably bigger and heavier, is like $29.99. And they're
for real?
And they were like, I mean, and I was like, because I sold the Juggernaut, the Marvel Select Juggernaut, but I've had that figure obviously, and it's amazing. It doesn't really have articulation, so I get that could be the difference. But is it a $30 difference? I'm not really that sure.
I guess it depends on how much you care about Marvel versus Capcom too,
I
and
mean,
how like the accuracies of that.
Still, it's like I don't know. I think I would have just been like, I already have that, and because he's massive and he's literally like I could throw it at somebody's window and it'll shatter a window.
It kind of feels like those Gamerverse 2-packs that each one of them has one thing that is outrageously exciting to people, and one thing that's like, eh. And that they kind of did the McFarlane thing of putting them together so that you have to get both of them, and not for all of them. Some of them, like the Captain America and Venom people.
I think that's an amazing idea. Like I do think they look amazing, but the pricing, I'm just like, you know what? Cool, keeps me outside of the that game.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Like it was like the tariffs turned out to not be as scary as thought.
Yeah.
So maybe some of these prices will come back to earth.
Yeah.
And I will say that they're putting. Like for WWE, their prices went up across the board, but they also turned the Legends line into a Build-A-Figure line. So you're getting more from it, right? Because they wanted to add value to it. So let's see if Marvel if Hasbro kind of follows suit on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for the news.
Time to dive into the blank check.
Let's do the blank check collection.
You gotta love new WWF figures with real wrestling action. Jake the Snake Roberts versus the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Yeah. DiBiase lands $1 million punch. Match Hulk Hogan against the Macho King Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah, my almost master finish Hogan, guaranteed.
Hogan slams him again. Match Andre the Giant against the Ultimate Warrior. Andre will squash the Ultimate Maniac. WWF figures so close to the real thing, it's like being in the ring.
Who wouldn't want to be an 11-year-old who has $1 million who ends up kissing a 30-year-old FBI agent woman at the end of the movie? I mean, I think you would just need to take a second. If you haven't watched Blank Check in a long time, just let that sink in. Maybe rewatch it. Yep. And I remember watching it at like 11 years old and being like, darn it.
I'm not rich enough to kiss adults yet.
I know.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is basically the idea of this concept was like, what if like time or money and space were just not an obstacle? What sort of stuff would you go after?
Yeah.
It actually has nothing to do with the movie Blank Check. Blank Check is a phrase that the movie is named after.
Right. Which, by the way, we talked about Surf Ninjas in the last one. And what was his name? Tone Loc?
Tone Loc. Yeah.
Tone Loc is also in Blank Check.
Yeah, dude, he dominated the 90s. Yeah. He's in Ace Ventura. He's a cop.
Oh, that's right. He is.
In Ace Ventura. He does the song at the end. Of Ace Ventura.
Yeah, he just fell off the side of the map, man. Yeah. And you haven't seen him anywhere.
Okay. But what's I'm gonna let you kick things off. You've got a blank check. You've got a 30-year-old FBI girlfriend. Things are going great.
Okay. So in preparation for this, I was thinking about what I was gonna do, and I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard for me to not be like Dwight in one of the episodes of The Office where he has this fantasy about like I forgot what he calls it, like hotel hell, and he's like, "You want to know what my salary is?" And he's like, $80,000. Where he's like, even in his fantasy, he only makes $80,000 a year, and it's like I had to think above that because at first I was like, and I was going with things that like really aren't that far.
$5 Lucy's.
Exactly. So I made a list of things that I think that I want to go through. So do you want to go through like I say one and then you say one, or you?
No, I've got 16. So you could just do your thing.
Okay, mine's gonna be way shorter than yours, because obviously, like, I think number one, I would probably double up on my current collection. I get one that I can open, and then the other one I would just have like on card that I would like store someplace.
That's a good call because you're the stuff that you collect. When I see it out in the wild, I'm like, dude, I don't know if I could open like
exactly.
I saw a Green Arrow Universe Classics.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way I could open this
Exactly.
because the way that it's displayed with the arrows being shot, and one of them's like the boxing glove,
Yep.
is just too cool. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, so doing that's probably one of the biggest things that I would do. Just double up on whatever I currently collect right now and display them in a way where it's just, you go in there and it's just bam, right there. One of my ideas behind collecting in general, which is essentially just, I wanted to make my room, like whatever our office room, the same design or aesthetic that in the 90s, whenever they would have like, there's a kid actor, they're like, let's design his room to be the best room that any kid has ever had in their life.
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Princess Bride.
Dude, when you went to go see Naked Gun, was there a trailer for a movie about Channing Tatum living in Toys R Us?
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, I have to watch this movie.
Yeah, that's funny. I was looking around in the background. I was like, what we got there?
Yeah.
What we got there? But so yeah, that was like the idea. So I think I would probably go with that aesthetic too. If I had that type of cash, just make like an all out, like, Corey from Boy Meets World, like that type of room. Same with George Costanza. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like does
he have toys?
He doesn't have I think he does have a couple toys in the background. A lot of it's like baseball related, so very like 1990s Yankees.
Yeah.
He does have, I think in one of the seasons between, I think either 1 through 4, he has like a Justice League picture above his bed.
Really?
Yes. And then he has dinosaur lamps, and then I think he has like baseball sheets or dinosaur sheets.
Just enough to tell you that he's a stunted child, but they're not like making a big deal out of it.
Exactly. So number one would be, or not number one, but another piece to my puzzle here would be Legos. Now I'm not really...
You're a Lego guy.
See, I think, really, if you have $1 million, you can afford maybe 2 or 3 boxes for Legos, because that's how it is right now.
Yeah, you get one Harry Potter set.
Exactly. So that's my gripe right now. Like, I think if I was going to chase down Legos, I'm not buying modern, because I feel like modern Legos are just like, it's so astronomical that I'm just like, it's designed for the adult collector. So they know they're going to charge crazy amounts for. One of my first sentient memories was of a Lego set. I am pretty sure, in fact, I actually want to like ask my mom about this, because there was one faithful day where I woke up, I go outside, and I notice people are being like extra nice to me, and I don't really know why. I have no idea how old I am. Maybe even just like, again, like I'm between like 1 and 4 probably. And I just noticed people were like treating me a little bit better that day. And I just don't know why. And my mom is like, hey, when are you coming into this building over here? And then I go in there, and there's like a room full of all my friends and a bunch of people and like happy birthday stuff lined up. And I was just like, I still don't understand what is happening. But I remember specifically, they gave me this like orange tub, like bucket of Legos. And it was like a Western theme Legos. And I was just like, I was obsessed with that. So I'm pretty sure that may have been like my first birthday, because like I that's all I can remember from it. But that one has like stuck in my brain that I'm like, I want to go back and chase it down. In fact, today I went online to see if I could find it anywhere, and I really couldn't. Okay. So this could have just been a dream. You know what I'm saying? I already talked about my Power Rangers dream.
I got, my dad had to get talked to at my very first day of after school care because I made a gun out of Legos.
Oh my god, man, that is amazing.
They were like, this kid's demented.
Yeah, he's demented. Yeah, that's funny. So I would definitely chase down Legos, vintage Lego sets, which again is probably going to be $6,000.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the Lego market. My presumption is that it's astronomical.
Yes, so I would get like the classic sets. Number one being the medieval sets. Just the horses, the swords, like this. Yeah. A lot of the swords were just either gray or they had like a chrome sort of like foil over the top of them.
Okay.
Amazing. And I've had friends who have like literally $1 billion, like sitting on $1 billion because they have like astronomical levels of Legos that are just like hanging out in a storage closet.
All right.
Those I think would be amazing. The pirate ship is
I can
like,
picture all of this stuff,
yes.
even though I was never a Lego kid.
Yeah.
It was always around, and I can picture all of this.
Yeah.
Like, it made some sort of impression.
Yeah, the pirate ship. Some of the ninja stuff. I think the ninja was like Ninjago or something like that, but it came later. It came like more when I was into action figures and like buying that. But those still bit at me a little bit. I used to go to Lego.com and play. They had like their own version of Indiana Jones, which I wish I could remember. It was like I don't know. It was something like that, like Johnny Train or something like that. But it was a version of that.
Minnesota Jenkins.
Pretty much, like literally. And then I would do obviously the Western sets.
Yeah.
So those would be really, really cool. I would probably have a special like room for that type of stuff. I think if we're talking like big dreams. The one of the other things that I had on the list was a race car bed.
Like Milhouse's dad.
Does he have that?
Yeah, when his wife kicks him out of the house, he flexes like my bed's a race car.
Okay, well there you go. It's a little less sad, but I think that would be cool. I was just kind of going off like, what would I do? So that's one of them. The big one, and I'm almost done because I just didn't go that far into it. But the big one that I think I would do was that I would build dioramas. And you and I have talked about doing like a diorama kind of set. And we actually even went to Hobby Lobby one time to go look at like what kind of miniature type stuff they had of like, how could we build out these really cool looking like set pieces, or especially because you have the NECA street scene. So essentially do something like that. And if I couldn't do it, I would probably fund a way to get it to be made. You know, if anybody is doing these things like in real time, like actual like buildings and like a street scenes, like that type of stuff really, really hits me.
Yeah.
So I would definitely go after that. And I think if I could do it, I would build an entire like massive, the same way that people build like Lego, you know, like Lego cities or like New York or whatever.
Yeah.
I would do that with actual like 6-inch, you know, action figures. So one of the first ones that I would do obviously would be Gotham City.
Sick.
Yeah, man, I would just build kind of like a gothic looking Gotham City. What would I see with this? Like, which characters do I want to feature in it? The Batmobile, I'd probably have like Nightwing over here on the building. Like, you would kind of make it a actual scene, which I think would look really cool. Same thing with Metropolis, like actually design a, you know, Daily Planet, have Superman flying around there and maybe like have him fighting something, you know, Brainiac or whatever. I think that'd be amazing. Jurassic Park would also be another one that I think would be incredible.
Buy whole ferns.
Yeah, like I was thinking like, man, just having that lined out. And the other idea that I had that I was really actually was going to try to pursue at some point, which was taking aquariums, like an empty aquarium, and then just filling it with like dirt and then kind of creating little scenes within aquariums.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if people do that right now. I definitely...
That's what I had to do in school, like counseling, when they would pull me out of class because I was a psycho that made guns with Legos. I had to go to counseling. You'd go into the counselor's office and they had a sand pit on like wheels, like elevated.
Okay.
And then they had a wall covered in toys, like action figures. And she would go just make a scene. And of course, I would make a war from one side of the pit to the other with the boy action figures. And then I would just hear her furiously scribbling. Like,
boy has an amazing imagination. He must be stopped.
He's crazier than we thought he was.
Yeah, that's
He's
hilarious.
Obsessed with violence.
Yeah, so the idea that I would want to do, one of them anyway, would be like getting in a pretty big aquarium, filling it with probably real dirt, like actual stuff like that. Getting, you know, some of the aquarium pieces that go into actual, like, because you can buy them, like the skull or like the treasure chest and like trees and like other types of cool little things that you can throw in there to make it look more like it's an underwater city.
Yeah.
But I would use some of that. I would definitely get some trees. One of the biggest things that I would do in my brain would be a Punisher, like war journal kind of art piece.
Yeah.
Of just make like a Vietnam-esque kind of jungle and then have him there, and then probably get like some other guys and where he's like, you know, he's in the bushes or whatever, like some kind of thing where there is a scene taking place, and then just change it out. Whenever I had a new idea, oh, this would be cool, because like I would love to do a Punisher and then have like a Wolverine there where like Wolverine's in the war with him, throw in Captain America while we're at it.
Yeah.
Just a little 3-piece thing. I mean, even that Wolverine that has was announced, that is the World War II.
Yeah.
Like, do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You basically can interchange it and just have a room full of those scenes on shelves, and have it on display where you can just go in and kind of, and I'm not really like super into figure photography. Like, I'm not really into that. I would just do that for myself. So I think I would have a room that is specifically designed the same way that fish tanks used to be designed in Walmart back in like the 90s, where you just be like, I would always tell my mom, I'm going to the fish aisle, and I just go stare at the fish. But I would probably set it up like that, where it would just be these glass like display cases of all these different like really cool scenes, which again, this is still not even near $1 million worth of things. So but I think just having that freedom to just be creative, because you and I have talked about this before, where it's like we've considered doing customs, and like wanting to do customs, like what do we see? How could we do this? Like repaint and like that type of stuff, even like clay. Like I wanted to do like sculptor type stuff, because I feel like I'm a busybody and I feel like I have to kind of keep moving. And then a lot of times I am like watching a movie or whatever, and I'm like, I just want to do something with my hands. Right. So I think having that creativity to be able to just think of a scene in your brain, how would this look really cool right now? And then just go out there, because back in the day when I would play with my toys, I specifically clocked 3 hours one time. I mean, I was writing a story masterpiece using the Marvel Legends Toy Biz Deadpool, and just playing for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that imagination is still alive and kicking. Yeah,
for sure.
Let me see if I got anything else on my list here. Yeah. I mean, outside of just obviously buying all of the collections that we're going to talk about across the universe. You know what I'm saying? The other thing I thought about too was just like using that money to just open up like a KB Toys display. Yeah. Yeah. The store. The store is my collection. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And just be like, hey, this is just like a remake completely of like a KB Toys. Yeah. Just so you can relive that, and then just have everything on the pegs. But that's mine, man. All right, well, mine is wrestling related, and it was actually inspired from watching a toy hunt on the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast YouTube channel. And inspired by the podcast too. So, Brian Myers is a massive autograph guy. He gets his friends in the wrestling business to autograph stuff for him. Like he has a home gym. And then in that gym, his friends in the business, he gets them to autograph stuff, and that's what's lining his gym. And then he, in his toy room for his actual legitimate collection, he has autograph stuff in there, whether he met them or knows them or just bought it online or went to a signing or whatever. He's huge about autographs. Gotcha. And he's huge about the pens that are used for the autographs and the color of the pen versus the colors you see on the box and stuff like that. Yeah. And he's always showing them off, and I'm always going, that's really cool. It looks great, but I have no interest in autographs. Yeah. Like, really, I don't want to stand in line. No way. Yeah. I don't want to pay the $250 for, Sting or whoever. Yeah. It just doesn't really appeal to me, but I love the way that it looks. Mm. So that was kind of my take on autographs. Then I'm watching this toy hunt video, and the Matt Cardona and Brian Myers are in this crazy toy store, and it has a lot of like vintage wrestling stuff. And Matt Cardona grabs a Jakks BCA Stone Cold Steve Austin and goes, "Oh, I'm going to get this Austin because it's his rookie figure." And I was thinking about it, and I went, "Rookie figure." I was like a rookie card, like that person's first ever action figure. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I was like, what if I did all of my favorite wrestlers' rookie figures signed in like super pretty paint pen that's like the right color,
The only way that I would do that is if I had infinite funding.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I
Because it would require it, is what it sounds like.
Because it would absolutely require it. So when you look at my Detolf in my room, you guys, there's plenty of pictures of it on Instagram, but it is, like I said earlier, it's a ranking system. So front is better and higher is better. So the fronters are my 16 favorite wrestlers of all time. So going in kind of reverse order, The Rock, who there's a question mark next to his name because out of the 16, he would be 16. And there's a chance that he may or may not make the cut as time goes by, but as of right now, he is part of the 16. So his first figure is a Jakks Superstars Series 5, and it's actually under the name Rocky Maivia, which was like his debut name. That figure autographed would go for somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500. There are 15 more to go.
Okay.
Next up is Mankind. His rookie figure is also in the Jakks Superstars Series 3.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking in my head too is this would look really cool because they wouldn't all be part of the same line. They would cover all sorts of different eras, different boxes, but it would look cool to have them together and have them autographed in the same type of like really nice pen. So Mankind, Jakks Superstar Series 3, that one would be somewhere between $500 and $800, so not too bad. CM Punk, which is a Jakks ECW figure, ECW WE, when WWE had ECW, those figures. So like under other circumstances, wouldn't even occur to me to buy that figure. That ECW is a sin that never should have existed. But CM Punk's one of the best wrestlers ever, and his first ever figure is part of that line. So therefore, it has to be part of this. And autographed, that would go for somewhere between $800 and $1,200. Then you have Macho Man Randy Savage, who obviously is from 3 generations prior to these other guys. His first figure is his LJN rubber figure. And because those are so hard to find and so hard to find in good condition, and he is deceased, getting that in like a 9.5 grade on card autographed would be about $2,500.
Okay.
So some of this stuff is not just expensive, it would be pretty much virtually impossible to track down. Eddie Guerrero, also deceased. There's a little bit of controversy as to what is his rookie figure. I went back and the other thing too is when you search this stuff, you only have AI. You have Google AI or ChatGPT, and it just lies.
Yeah,
it's just wrong about stuff.
Yeah.
What I think is Eddie Guerrero's rookie figure is a Jakks Ruthless Aggression SummerSlam Series 2. That one would be between $600 and $1,000. And then, but for the people who are deceased, you have to just hope that it exists.
Yeah.
Right. Kenny Omega, who is more current, he's incredibly current. I think his first figure that actually hit the stores is his Unrivaled Series 1, which is the current, this is an Unrivaled, the AW, but it's the first series. But he may have had a Super 7 that wasn't announced first. So there's a little bit of controversy as to which one would actually be the rookie. But I'm going to go with the Unrivaled Series 1 because I like the figure more. That would be somewhere between $500 and $800. Then you have the Young Bucks, similar controversy. They also have Super 7s. They also have Jazzwares Series 1 figures, which I have. You can actually see them in that tub right there. They're dressed like Elvis, but I would need them on card. And I don't know which one actually qualify as the rookie figures, but I like AEW, so I would go with the AEW figures, and that would be between about $600 and $900. Not really sure if that's each or both of them, so we'll call it $1,800 for each of them.
Okay.
Kurt Angle, which I actually have an autographed Kurt Angle figure. It's the only autograph in this room because I just happened to run into him at a con, and he didn't have a line at the time.
Wow.
So. But I would want to get his rookie figure, which is a Jakks Titantron Live Series 5, another figure that I would never dream of buying in another circumstance because it's a crap figure. But that would be between $300 and $500 signed. And then John Moxley. So this one's interesting. John Moxley's first figure is part of a 3-pack. And that 3-pack is a Kmart exclusive Basics Shield 3-pack. So it comes with a Seth Rollins and a Roman Reigns also. They have both reached like legend status. So you're talking about 3 of the biggest wrestlers of all time in one pack, and that's all 3 of their debut figures in the same pack. So the way that I had priced it out was with just John Moxley's autograph on it would be between like $500 and $700. You could probably add another $150 per autograph for Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Actually, Roman Reigns autograph probably goes for like $350, $400 now, and growing. So that item could be my $1 million item in and of itself.
Wow.
A 3-pack with the 3 of their signatures on it.
Yeah.
That's like Murderer's Row kind of stuff. The Undertaker, his first figure was a Hasbro WWF from Series 4. That one autographed, which probably does exist, is between $900 and $1,200. And just picturing that in my head, I'm like, you know what? This is maybe not just content. That might be something if I ever come into some kind of large sum of money that I would actually legitimately chase that down.
Yeah.
All right. Last 1, 2, 3, 4. Last 5, which is basically my top 5 favorite wrestlers. Sting. His first figure is a WCW Galoob, which is like their version of the like LJNs, just like a rubber, like you could kill a guy with it. There's controversy as to which one is his rookie one also, because they released a figure in the UK first, but it was a very small release. And then the one that I'm talking about was released it's his first US release. And that's in the green tights. And that one could go between $600 and $900. And then you have Stone Cold Steve Austin, the one that I was talking about, that Jakks Bone Crushing Action Series 4, the Bad Boys edition. Autograph would be between $600 and $800. Bret Hart, he's from the Hasbro WWF Series 4. That's like an iconic, legendary, outstanding figure from my collection, actually. Autographed about $1,200. Shawn Michaels, also from Hasbro, Series 7. That's the Rockers 2-pack with Marty Jannetty. That one would go about $1,500. And then my last one, my all-time favorite wrestler, Bryan Danielson. His first figure is a Mattel Basic also. So another Basic that I don't actually want, but it's his first figure. An autograph that would be about $450. So I didn't total it up, but
I just did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went with the high end of every single one of them.
Okay.
You're looking at 19,000 even.
Okay.
For all of that.
Not too bad.
That's really not that bad, you know?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about it is, like, I just close my eyes and envision this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's incredible. But it's $19,000, and because it's subjective, it could change. Right? Like, okay, so somebody becomes a fronter, so to speak, for me. Seba, relax. My dog is going nuts. Would I just continue adding to it? Would I take people off, like sell somebody off and then add somebody new? Like, there's current wrestlers who are going to work their way into being my favorites.
Yeah.
Like, so it's got a little bit of like fluidity to it.
Right.
But yeah, once that thought entered my head, I was like, oh my God, like that would be incredible. I just couldn't even fathom paying for it.
What's funny though is that you have probably 19 grand worth of things just right now, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Yeah. So it's funny that like over a lifetime or even just a shorter amount of time, like it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's just whether or not you want to actually.
Yeah. If I was like, okay, I'm going to do this over the rest of my life, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Like acquire the figures first, then chase down the autographs.
Right.
The deceased people is where it gets really tough because like Randy Savage, there wasn't paint pens. There was Bic pens and Sharpies.
Yeah.
And none of those look good. You know what I mean? They look really, really bad, honestly. That's why I think I'm not an autograph guy, is because paint pens are a relatively new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just didn't grow up caring about autographs. Like it it just didn't matter.
Yeah, I have no desire for that. I don't really have anything that would get an autograph, but
Yeah,
I don't really think about that.
I wouldn't stand in a line generally, but like the concept of this idea was just like too juicy for me.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny just being a collector. I was talking to somebody else about that, about it the other day. A friend of mine, he was asking me, like, how do I go about, like, how do you know what you're going to get? How do you go about getting it and stuff? And I was like, I mean, for me, it's just rebuying whatever I had when I was younger. And I was like, I feel very fortunate to be in this like tiny window where like what I want really just is not that expensive.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't, like, even if like money was no option, it's like, I don't have any grail items that I would purchase, like going to Dallas Vintage Toys and being like, oh my God, I have to have this $5,000 Leonardo, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like unpunched or whatever. Like that does nothing for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the same way that I feel like I think about food, where it's like, if I'm going to spend a ton of money, there better be a massive quantity of it. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, like if I was somebody that truly had like that, just sort of, you know, bottomless funds or whatever to be able to spend on it, you know, for some reason in my brain, it feels like it takes away the fun of it. I don't know why, because it's like you can just have it immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think about people who are like really big collectors who have like a lot of money, and it's like how you would almost have to limit it to like, I'm only going to buy this in the wild. Otherwise, it could be literally on your front door.
If it gets too easy, then it's not fun.
It loses
anymore.
Yeah.
Like so. Yeah, you would almost have to be like, unless I find this in a store, I'm not going to buy it.
Exactly. So I would probably create rules like that for myself,
Yeah.
where like I still only just want to find this in the wild. I want to be surprised by it, but I don't want to have like the, you know, to be able to buy it and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you know what? I probably would go in. I'd probably do like a quest across America and just be like, all right, I'm going to drop $5,000 at every store. You know what I'm saying?
You spend the money on traveling.
Yeah.
And then you spend $8 on a Marvel Legends Venom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But that's our blank check collections. What is your blank check? You've got all the money in the world. What are you going after? Hit us up on Instagram at Mighty Champions. We want to know what you're hunting down. Like he was saying, send us pictures of your collection. What did you buy this week? What does your display look like? Share it with me. I'll share it with the world. We want to know that stuff. You made it this far, hit the subscribe button. You love the show. You want to hear more of it. You want to go back and listen to the other episodes. And we would also love it if you would leave us a review. That would help us out a ton. But we will catch you guys next week. Thank you for joining us. Peace.
You gotta love new WWF figures with real wrestling action. Jake the Snake Roberts versus the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Yeah.
DiBiase lands a $1 million punch. Match Hulk Hogan against the Macho King Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah, my elbow smash will finish Hogan, guaranteed.
Hogan slams him again. Match Andre the Giant against the Ultimate Warrior. Andre will squash the Ultimate Maniac. WWF figures so close to the real thing, it's like being in the ring.